Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast powered by CKREU. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Gene Kirchner, Senior Vice President and COO here at the Northern Kentucky Chamber. He talks about the Northern Kentucky Chamber Guided Growth 401k solution and how that can benefit your business. We are also joined by Kalle of CBT Company. She highlights their More Than Manufacturing Expo happening later this month downtown. Thank you to our podcast sponsor, CKREU, Google and Amazon advertising experts. Now let's go hear from that sponsor, meet our members of the week, and we will be back with this week's guests.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time. And there are no shortcuts. CKREU gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, CKREU generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can CKREU do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Vioxx & Vioxx is a family-owned civil engineering, land surveying, landscape architecture, and planning firm dedicated to delivering innovative solutions for residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal projects. Munninghoff Lang is a regional CPA firm located in Covington that serves many industries, including automotive, construction, hospitality, insurance, and retail. As an end-to-end organizational and transformation partner, Tier 1 delivers solutions that drive clarity, accelerate progress, and go beyond a plan on a page to achieve sustained results. Founded in 2013, Senior Market Team LLC was built on the foundations of education and support, with a mission to help agents and agencies successfully transition into senior market sales. The Northern Kentucky Association of Realtors is a membership association that supports their members by providing education and training, enforcement of the Realtor Code of Ethics, and provides them multiple listing service for brokers.
Hi, everybody. It's Katie Forcade, and I'm here with my friend Gene. Today, we're going to talk all about guided growth. It's so nice to have you here today with us, Gene.
Well, thanks, Katie. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Now, take me through. We're talking all about guided growth, so tell me a little bit about the NKY Chamber's, guided growth program.
Well, Katie, 85% of our membership have 50 employees or less. So we are largely a small business chamber. And in that demographic, sometimes they don't have the bandwidth to offer the same types of competitive benefits that larger companies do. And we're really mindful of that. We want to enable our small businesses to compete on that scale, right, and offer competitive benefits. So we're really, really excited about our partnership with T. Rowe Price, which designed a solution specifically for our small to mid-sized business members that really gives them the capacity to offer that type of competitive benefit, which is going to enable them to attract talent and hopefully be successful in growing their business, which is ultimately what we're all about as a chamber, right?
Definitely. Now, you talk a lot about small businesses really benefiting from this. Who all would you expect to kind of look at this and go, oh my God, I think I might be a good fit for this?
Well, really, any employer who wants to offer a strong benefit program without all the heavy lifting, quite frankly, but certainly the small and the mid-sized businesses really are the ones that come to mind in that space because they may not have a full-time CFO, or someone to deal with all the compliance, reporting, filing that goes along with offering a 401k solution. And one of the great things about this particular program is that they're taking a lot of that heavy lifting from those businesses and helping them deal with that on a day-to-day basis, such that it's really seamless and feels really good to the end user, if you will.
Definitely. And talk about the importance of offering competitive employee benefits.
Well, the reality of the situation is that, we're all in competition for talent, right? And I think sometimes our small businesses struggle to compete with the larger entities that do have the bandwidth to offer competitive benefits. And so really we want to make sure that we give all of our businesses the tools that are necessary, whether that's our guided growth program or Anthem Chamber Advantage health insurance program, our workers' compensation program through ClearPath. All of those are really in place to help small to mid-sized businesses really compete for talent, which is a big deal. Every year, our members tell us that that's their number one issue is attracting talent. How do we grow, attract, and retain talent? Offering competitive benefits is a big part of the solution to that.
Definitely. And I guess, where can people go if they feel like, oh my God, I really need to, as, employer, take advantage of this? How can they, where can they go to find this and start getting situated with it?
Well, they can find information about it on our website, number one. And number two, they can call me. I'm glad to have a conversation about it, and also to connect them with, our local chamber member financial advisors, and any number of whom could really get them started down the path of exploring guided growth, or connect them directly with T. Rowe Price. We're happy to do that as well. But go to our website first to learn more.
Awesome. Is there anything else I missed asking you that you got to get out about guided growth?
Well, I do want everybody to know that on April 29th, we're going to be hosting a webinar for folks who want to learn more about this. So be sure to look for information coming soon. It hasn't actually been announced yet, so this is the first tease on that, if you will. But we will have experts on a panel discussion talking about, from T. Rowe Price and financial advisors, talking about this solution and available to answer questions that folks have who are on the call that day. So look for that coming soon, April 29th.
April 29th, awesome. And where can people go to find that online?
Well, they will be able to do so. We actually haven't announced it yet, so this is the first tease on that, but coming soon.
Awesome. Something to look forward to. Anything else I've missed asking that the people should know?
I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Kalle of CBT Company. Kalle, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks. Glad to be here in the new digs.
Yes, very new digs. You are like interview number 2 here. I'm very excited to have you on. And for a really exciting reason, CBT Company, every 2 years, you guys host this big expo. So we're going to talk a little bit about today. But before we get to the More Than Manufacturing Expo, tell me a little bit about CBT for our members that don't know you guys.
Yep. So CBT has been in the manufacturing space for over 100 years. And that might be a smidge of a lie because we started out, it was the Stagneros. They were Italian boot makers that morphed into making leather belts, which is in the 1920s. That was a mode of movement, was leather belts. And you can actually see them if you ever go to the Biltmore or anything like that. They actually still have the leather belts from their kitchen. So we started out as leather belting, and then over the years, we've added a full suite of manufacturing services, obviously the product that goes along with that. I always tell people that anyone who makes or manufactures things, those would be our customers and our partners. So we, work with the biggest brands in Cincinnati, the P&Gs, the Cow brands, the Kroger, and we help to keep their manufacturing up and running. So that's what you can come to us for. And if you don't know where to go, chances are we do it. And if we don't do it, then we know who does. So, and it's much more of a partnership than something transactional. Obviously, we have the parts. We have all the parts. But we have the people that get you the best parts in the right application at the right time.
Yeah.
So,
really essential. And we know manufacturing is huge in greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana are some of the biggest manufacturing states.
The tri-state is, our per capita on manufacturing, I think we're all in the top 10.
Yeah.
So
just right at home here in greater Cincinnati.
Exactly.
So the More Than Manufacturing Expo is returning April 22nd and 23rd. Tell us about the expo this year.
So this year, when we spoke in 2024, we were at our second year in Sharonville. This year, we outgrew the space. So we are downtown now, and it's now the first financial center. We've gone through a few iterations of that. It is now the first financial center, formerly the Duke Energy Convention Center, right in downtown. So we will be there. And for those of you who are, parking averse, I am one of those people. The older I get, the less I'm like, what's the parking situation? The good news is we have parking for everybody. If you register ahead of time, you'll get information, and there'll be a nice big lot by the bingo stadium, and we will literally shuttle you to the door. So, but we'll be downtown this year, which is great. We have, I think we're at 89 separate booths, but booth 81 literally has 20 different demos. So if anybody's familiar with Rockwell Automation, they do this big thing every year, global event at the McCormick Center in Chicago. They're everywhere. We have, I would say, at least 2/3 of all of the Rockwell demos that go to that global event every year are going to be brought here in Cincinnati for everybody to see. So we will have a full automation area with robotics. There will be belting, things for food and bev. We're going to have, if people are familiar with ABB in the space, we're going to have the Power Better Roadshow. So we're literally driving a semi-truck into the convention center that people can walk through to see how ABB is powering, helping to power manufacturing facilities. And then obviously all the traditional belting, electrical supplies, pneumatics, and then all of the mechanical stuff as well. So we have, with everything, over 100 different vendors represented. So that's what the expo floor is going to look like. But this year we also have training, and I'm sure that we can kind of put that list in. And I'll say it a couple times. If you want more information, it's more than mfgexpo.com where you can go. It has all of this. But we have training sessions for people who need to get some technical skills or information about different areas. And then we also have 2 keynotes, and we did those slightly differently this time. So we have focused on 2 areas. I know that everyone's really focused on AI.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic everywhere, from data centers to jobs and those kinds of things. We have a Andreas Welch, who is literally goes around this globally and talks about it. He's like, okay, he'll kind of break it down. What are the things that really need to be used? What are things that are just kind of buzzwords and hype? And where is this going? So those will both be on Wednesday. So that's Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then for everybody, not just manufacturers, we'll have Alex Chizovsky, who is an economist. So we know that in our current economic and political climate, things can change relatively quickly. When we had first talked about this, we were like, oh, tariffs were the hot thing. And now we're, talking about different things that are happening in the Middle East. So he gives the outlook for manufacturing, but it applies to everyone. Yeah. So even if you're a chamber member who is not necessarily in the manufacturing space, and I would argue that it's like 6 degrees of separation, but I think it's like 2 to manufacturing.
Yeah. You think logistics, you think tech, you think all sorts of things. Like we said, like the capital like investments that we have and the amount of people doing manufacturing really touches everyone who like participates in the economy.
Yeah.
In Kentucky and Greater Cincinnati.
Well, and I think people also want to know, I think people have a general interest for how it's made is a great show. And I say all the time, my life is like that because I'm also the chair of Women in Manufacturing Kentucky. So I go on plant tours all over the state. And I get to see, like, I've been to Ford and I've seen them flip over vehicles and seen an engine be put in. And I think everyone likes to know how that works. And I think the more information we have about all of that stuff, I think the better off we all are knowing how things get to us, right?
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point. So it's not just people who work in manufacturing or touch manufacturing. Who all do you think should attend this event?
I think obviously go to morethanmfgexpo.com and take a look. But I think it really applies to everyone. We have with CBT partnerships, and then I have partners that are with women in manufacturing. There are recruiting companies, there are banks, there are people who maybe are involved with some of these people in aftermarket stuff, right? So you may work with a P&G or with, a Cow Brands or some of those people, or like 80 Acres, some of our Kentucky brands. After the fact, you may be dealing with the products in the end. So I think it's really good for everybody to see how it functions. And all this stuff doesn't necessarily just have to be applied in manufacturing.
Yeah.
All this stuff, it can be applied sometimes in your garage. We have people that come and get belts for their lawnmowers. So yeah, I'm like, my dad is an electrician and he's like, hey, do you guys have that? And I'm like, yep. He's like, yeah, bring it out to the farm this weekend. So
you guys have a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Sure. One of the other things that I wanted to ask is, what do you think are the biggest draws outside of just seeing the new innovations and the different things that are going to be at this event?
I think that there is a lot to be said for networking and conversation. There are a lot of people there from a lot of different companies. And I think when you're in the technical sessions and when you are in some of these keynotes, you strike up conversations with people. I know that I've made great connections and moved business forward or gotten insights just from the people that I've talked to at these different things. And we've got all of Exhibit Hall A, and there will be people there, not just from manufacturing, but we have space for different organizations like Women in Manufacturing, AMIP. There's like Alex, or I'm sorry, we'll have someone there with like their book that kind of deals with more broad subjects. So I think that's really interesting. Something that's not up for local, like not up for consumption by everyone, but just a neat thing that we're doing is we're doing the student day. So I'm really excited about that because I think our generation was told, go to college.
Yeah.
And realizing that I could have been doing what I'm doing now. I loved my college experience. It was great. And I would definitely probably do that again. But I also could have done what I'm doing now straight out of high school. Mm-hmm. CBT would have trained me. I would have had similar knowledge to what I have now. And manufacturing is not dark, dirty, and dangerous anymore, right? So we get to show kids all of the innovative, cool things they can do with that as well. So if you have a last minute ad, you're a teacher in Northern Kentucky, feel free to reach out. We have some slots in the afternoon available. Our morning session is full, but they'll see all kinds of cool things. Robotics, we'll have UC is going to have some engineering stuff there. We'll have VR headsets, CAD cam stuff so they can play with machines. So that I think is one of the things I'm most excited about because, I've been putting it all together.
Well, I hear that. And I do want to definitely dive more into that student experience. Mm-hmm. And you said something about like the perception of manufacturing is not what manufacturing really is. And I see that a lot. My husband works in manufacturing and he's at like a literal soaps and sanitizers manufacturing plant. Like it's clean, it's nice, it's beautiful. Tell us a little bit about like one, how you guys are training this next generation and kind of opening their eyes to the opportunities and what you see as like what modern day manufacturing is like.
Definitely. Well, if you think about, everybody loves YouTube or TikTok and you see videos of robotics doing really neat things, doing it really fast. Obviously it started in manufacturing, right? Getting robotics to do things that humans either couldn't do or, chose not to do. And I will say, you said your husband's facility is super clean. I have been in food facilities and you think, ugh, I don't want to go see how my food's made. I'm like, man, I feel way better about this after I got to go see, we were in Mount Sterling, Kentucky, and we got to go see the Hot Pocket facility.
Oh, I love
and
that.
I'm like, at first you're like, oh, Hot Pocket, it's prepared food. I went in the facility. I'm like, oh, I actually would eat that now that I've gone there. Before I was like, maybe not. But now I'm like, oh, I know where they source their ingredients from. I know how it came in. I know how it was mixed. And obviously food and bev is one thing. But I have been in very few. The dirtiest plant I've ever been in was literally they were manufacturing brakes for for large trucks. And there's not a way to do that super cleanly.
Right.
But the new area in that plant was beautiful. And they're doing things for Tesla and for electronic cars. So even in some of those traditionally dirtier places, they're really beautiful, clean parts as well. And if you want to get into a neat, beautiful facility in manufacturing, you definitely can, because there's like a 6 million person gap. By 2030, I think that's 6 million is the number of jobs that are going to be available. And it's safe. I mean, all of the things, obviously I know it because the way that CBT does it, but it's never been safer to be in manufacturing. Obviously there's some human part of that. If you follow directions, you're safe, like, right? So, and if I had it to do over again, I would not still be paying student loans probably. And I think I might have gone, I'm like, maybe I would have been a welder. Like who knows? Yeah. And you just didn't think about it before. And I think people can think about it now.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's really important you guys are bringing those students in to get their hands on some robotics and some VR headsets. That sounds so cool. And those are opportunities that, like you said, I did not know when I was a young student.
Well, and our parents weren't like, man, you should be in manufacturing. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I'm like, ugh, do I even start a 529 plan? Like, do we even really need this? Like, what? Yes. I'll just start one for both of you and we'll see how it goes, right?
Kalle, it has been so much fun to talk to you about this. Like we said, the event is April 22nd and 23rd. How do people register? You already plugged the website to get more information, but what are those nitty-gritty details?
So you go to the website, you click register. It's pretty self-explanatory. After that happens, you'll be given an invite. We're running things through an app this year, so you can register for all of the sessions, the technical sessions and training sessions, and any of the speaker sessions. And then the expo show floor will be 9 to 3 each day. And again, register ahead of time. You'll get directions for parking. So you literally, if you've ever been to a Bengals game, it'll be, I believe, in lot A down there. So you'll just park and literally shuttles will be running all day to take you and drop you off at the door. And then you walk in and you get your badge. So it's relatively simple.
Yeah, that is awesome. And Kalle, before I let you go, thank you so much for joining us in our sweet new digs. It's been great to have you. Is there anything else that you think our viewers and listeners need to know about CBT or this expo before I let you go?
Oh, well, CBT, if you're not familiar with us, again, we've been around for 100 years. We work with, we've worked with some of those people. We literally have the books from the early 20s, and we've had customers that are, 100 years strong. So I always love to use the farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. So if you have questions about manufacturing and you don't know where to go, please reach out. So for anything, and we'll point you in the right direction if it's not something that we do. And for the expo, I would say if you can make it down, even if you don't really have a plan or you're just interested, again, you don't have to be in the manufacturing space, because the more people that know about manufacturing as an opportunity, the wider that reach will be. And maybe it'll be an opportunity for your son or your daughter or, a career change. We are, and I'm part of Women in Manufacturing. So I'm like, the more women we get in manufacturing, again, I think the better that will be as well, because it adds a new perspective. So come on down the 22nd or 23rd. And again, it's more than MFGExpo.com. And I hope that it's very self-explanatory to register, but if you have trouble, certainly feel free to reach out to expo@cbtcompany.com.
All right. Well, Kalle, that is very easy to get registered. I'm very excited to see all the pictures from this event and see what you guys have going on and have you back on in 2 years.
Yeah. It's good to see you again. Bye.
Thank you to our Investors Circle members. Our Investors Circle members help us promote and support the development of strong businesses and a vibrant economy in the Northern Kentucky region. Thank you to all of these members for their investment, which will help the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce in our mission to develop and grow a thriving business community.
Northern Kentucky needs tailored solutions to address our housing shortage. Home for All, Northern Kentucky Housing Strategies, explores how we can retain young adults, help older residents downsize or age in place, and ensure new neighbors have housing options that fit their lives. Dive into the report at housingNKY.org. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the podcast. Like Jean said, if you are interested in learning more about the Northern Kentucky Chamber Guided Growth 401k solution, you should join us on Wednesday, April 29th for Maximize Your NKY Chamber Membership, Smarter, Simpler Retirement Benefits, and Payroll Solutions. Join us to learn how the Northern Kentucky Chamber Guided Growth 401k solution, offered in partnership with T. Rowe Price, helps small and mid-sized businesses offer competitive retirement benefits. You will also hear how Payroll Partners provides powerful payroll and HR technology paired with personalized local support. You can learn more about our panelists and register for that event at nkychamber.com/events. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, CKREU, Google and Amazon advertising experts. And finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce as a member, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. You can find her contact information on the screen if you are a viewer, and our listeners can find that at nkychamber.com/staff. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.